saw it and it said he's got to do, what was it? No, he's on probation for a year, which means nothing. And he's on house arrest. I'm like, what the fuck?
He has to pay a $500 fine and take part in a 90-day outpatient treatment program. The video will take place via video conferencing due to the coronavirus pandemic.
I'll tell you this, right? Yeah, listen, he got off pretty much scot-free. He did. The $500 fine, that's absolutely laughable. The year probation, okay, well, he's got to keep out of trouble. Which for Jones, as we know, isn't that easy. So he's got to be careful there. The rehab thing, all right, yeah, he needs to do that. I just hope he learned his fucking lesson. But I'll tell you, the one thing that sucks is the community service. When I was a kid, I got arrested. When I say when I was a kid, I was with Rebecca.
32.
Yeah, no, I was 20, I think, and I got arrested and I got community service. And the community service that we had to do was on a Saturday morning. I had to go to a graveyard in Whalley and dig graves. Right, Whalley was a town near to where I lived, and back then that was in the prime of my partying days. So going to community service on a Saturday morning was never going to happen. And I no-showed. And anyway, so they pull you back to court. What I didn't know at the time, because I was a kid and I was, reckless and didn't really give a shit. Every time I was going back to court for not doing community service, they were logging that as another criminal offense. Right? And I remember I almost got sent to prison. I did go to prison eventually for something else, but I almost went to prison several times for not doing my community service. So Jones, if you're listening, which I highly doubt you are, make sure you do your service, because that shit will bite you in the ass.
Leon Edwards, and it's a shame, because I really think what you just talked about, the run he's been on since he lost to you, it's uncanny. Because he's more of a quiet guy, he's suffering from, I'm going to say he's more well known for eating that three-piece than he is for his body of work to the average fan. Because you got to understand, that clip's been shown millions of times promoting his other fights, Masvidal's fights. Masvidal, who became a star, that's part of it. Oh man, you disrespect this guy. Look what he did to him. Hands behind the back, and that's his thing now. Hands behind. I mean, it's helped build that, just create that, just showing the world like this image of this guy. Like, man, this is a bad motherfucker at Leon Edwards' expense.
Yeah,
and kind of he fell to the wayside, man, and he's beating everybody.
Yeah,
I want to see him versus Masvidal. Fuck.
Yeah, that's the fight.
Let's be honest, that is the fight. That's the fight. Winner gets me. Honestly, that's the fight. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to wait. I got to eat too. So if they want to throw one of those guys in before, then absolutely I'm okay with it. It's the same thing in the same situation as Woodley and Covington at one point.
Yes.
Like that fight's good now. Like, they can make that fight. That's a great fight. I've beaten up both guys, but now they can go and make that fight. So
now,
I've already fought Leon Edwards. If I need to make a little bit of money, so if I need to beat up Masvidal next, I was hoping I was going to do it in 2 weeks, and then they can still do that fight, him and Leon Edwards. But we'll see what happens.
And I'm healthy enough for this title fight against Henry. He's a good matchup. He's short. He's angry, and he's not very bright, so I love it.
Well, what do you say to the people who say, all right, Jan, Aldo, they're overseas, but Aljamain, Corey Sandhagen, they're domestic. Why don't they go to them and not you, who hasn't fought since 2016? What do you say to those people?
Yeah, well, then we go back to, 7 title defenses over 10 years, and it's been a while. I've had few injuries in there, but that doesn't take away the things that I've done. And the fact that I've also come back from almost a 4-year layoff and beaten the top guys in the division. I've done this before, I can do it again, and it's been proven. I've shown that I can do it, and I'm healthy. I filled in these gaps as I've been out. I've stayed relevant. I've been promoting the division, promoting every single person in the division that I'm competing against in a positive way without attaching myself to it emotionally. And I've been building the sport of mixed martial arts the best I can in service of the other athletes. And I think that's also allowed me to be in this position. I'm not just trying to get me, get my own stuff. I've been promoting the Sandhagens. I've been promoting the Jans. I've been promoting the Henrys. And I've been at the top of the food chain for a long time. And, you know, I've built the backing that I have, and so I deserve to slide right in there at the top.
I just think New York, the fighters from New York really should, you know, be given a pass. I don't think they should be moving around. I mean, that was I can only speak for New York. I'm sure there's parts of the country that it's not that bad, and, you know, as long as you follow some sort of safety protocol, it'll be okay. But I can tell you from New York, these guys, you know, I didn't want to see any of my guys with a shitty training camp, you know, have to fight. And God forbid, you know, it gets worse. They're saying it's going to get worse in the next 2 weeks. So, you know, it was coming more from that, you know. So I would have rather have seen, you know, a postponement. And as soon as this thing clears up, you just bang out like 3 shows a week or something like that. Give guys, you know,
right.
I'll give you a 6-week notice, you know, something like that. Because it really is chaos over here. And now it's starting to, the people that are infected are starting to get closer and closer. I think by the time when I did the interview, I said it was 2 degrees of separation. The day after that, I had like, you know, 5 people, you know, call up, and somebody told me this guy's in bad shape and this guy's over here. So, you know, it's you know, it's just got to be proceeded with safety first if they're going to do it. But it looks like they're going to try to do something. So no, it's not going to be a boycott like the UFC, like the NFL. But
yeah.
If you're from New York, trust me, you got a different view of what's going on. And I get it.
Right.
You're not. You know, I do get that. You know what I mean? So that's I prefaced it with, I think the New York guys should just, because I've seen what's happened over here, and I've seen, you know, cops throw people out for trying to train, and firemen doing the same thing. So, you know, the next thing after that is you're going to get a fine for having people in your gym, and nobody wants that. So, you know, I don't know, you know, I mean, you could train outside, but you got to get partners to train with, and a lot of people are really playing it safe over here because they all know, you know, somebody who's been infected, and they're, you know, some people are rattled and some people aren't.
So Justin Gaethje versus Tony Ferguson, and you attached an interim title to it. Why was the decision made to make it a title fight?
Well, it's a no-brainer. I mean, you have 2 of the top guys in the world. Everybody felt that, you know, if Conor was going to get a shot at Khabib, that actually Gaethje should get it before Conor. Mm-hmm. I mean, it couldn't have worked out any better. You get Gaethje versus Tony. It's the fight that makes sense. It's 2 of the top guys in the world. Khabib is out, so the winner will face Khabib.
What do you think this does to Conor McGregor? I mean, there was some chatter that he may want to fight in the summer, that he wanted to fight 3 times, but he wanted to see what happened with this fight against Khabib and Tony. What do you think is the impact on Conor McGregor's 2020?
This impacts everybody. I mean, this impacts everybody. You know, there's 3 fights that have already been postponed that we're going to work out over the next several weeks. And I don't know where this puts anybody, you know, because Conor really wants that rematch with Khabib. Mm-hmm. Well, Khabib and Tony or Gaethje won't fight now until probably September.
What a f***ing fight. Ferguson versus Gaethje. Late replacement. Like, if this could be on a different level. Think about it, Ariel. Like, this fight, the stylistic matchup itself could be 5 rounds of just death, of 2 guys who know how to go to that place, who know how to dig deep, and it could just go on for 5 rounds. And literally, bro, watch this. You need to like get this pay-per-view right, or go on this Facebook Live. Oh, here, click on this link. Watch this. Or like, it could be like Forrest Grip 1 or 2, and on a much bigger scale, because literally the whole world's gonna have no choice but to watch this fight, and they're gonna be compelled to, because they're like, oh, this, you know, I don't watch this MMA shit. Some people, and they're like, oh, let me just see this fight. Like, it's gonna be crazy, man. I see the potential. Maybe I'm a glass half full kind of guy, but I mean, I still stay sipping.
What's your prediction for the fight then?
Prediction?
Yes, prediction.
Could be 5 rounds of just death.